Hi everyone. I'm just going to take a couple minutes today to talk about Google Drive and why it is so important that we try to get our drives nice and organized so that we can use Classroom really efficiently. So I'm really not the person who should be making this video. My drive is an absolute mess. It has been a mess for years. I am one of those people where I can't find stuff, and so I have to search for the file name every time, and then I can't remember what I called it, and it's always just a big mess. So this is going to be some work for me. And if you're anything like me, you might have a drive that looks like this too, where you had good intentions with lots of folders, and then it just becomes mass chaos and there's documents everywhere and you have no idea what you actually need and what you can delete and so on. And so we're going to talk just a couple minutes about what we can all do, at least me for sure, to get this a little bit more compatible as we use Google Classroom. So with Drive, it's really important that folder structure stays nice and organized. And so, of course, in Drive, and just like your desktop too, folders are going to keep all your documents organized. So if I go to New, and I go to New Folder, I can, of course, create whatever kind of, let's create a PLC folder. I can name it whatever I think is going to work best for my organization. I can also very quickly color code this. And as you can see, I started to color code some of my big folders that I plan on dropping some of these other folders into. And so my PLC folder here, I'm just going to control right click on my laptop and I can go down to change color. And let's go for that purple there. Now, once I create that folder, it would be even better if I can create subfolders within that. And so when I click on my 8th grade folder, I have a couple project folders that are starting to go in there. I've been slowly working on this. And I could even color code these if I needed to. I believe, yeah, we'll go blue again. So if I really feel like I need everything matching, then I can color code those again within there. But let's go back. And I'm actually going to use the down arrow on my drive. And what's kind of slick about that is you can see all of your folders there on the left-hand side instead of scrolling down through the big list here. Now, for me, I think it's going to work best if I make those kind of big pillar folders that are going to house most of my information, and then I can take these and I'm going to start dragging them into where I feel like they're going to go best. And so it's gonna go ahead and start. Now, here's funny. See, here's me again. I created this folder this morning, and you would think I would remember it as I'm working on this tonight. Nope, don't at all. So here's where I've got a duplicated folder that I need to figure out what's in here, what can I delete, what don't I really need, and work my way through this big mess. Now, if you have also, let's close up my drive here on the side and go shared with me. This is a whole nother beast. If I click on that, anytime that you get a document shared with you, it is not going to get organized unless you take care of it. And so I've got projects. I mean, look at all of these images from kids that I need to go ahead and get rid of and delete. Many of these came in through Classroom. As they turned them in, it went to that shared with me section of my drive. And so I just need to go through and delete a lot of this if we're done with it. Or if these are things that I need to keep, then I should drag them back over to my drive and file them in the appropriate folder. Other than that, Drive is very simple to keep organized if you keep it up. I should point out that we have a staff member who's highly organized already with their drive. This is Dom Squires, his drive. This is crazy. I had heard a rumor that he's got a very organized drive and it was all color-coded and looks awesome. And so I have a couple screenshots from what his drive looks like. So for him, he's got it really broken up into these big broad categories that would work for many of us in terms of, he's got his classroom folder. That's where, I will show you that here in a second. That's where you're going to find all of the documents that you're going to upload into Classroom. Google's going to automatically put them into that Classroom folder for you. And you could also drag other documents from your drive into that folder if you wish. Of course, he's got curriculum and he has things for his coaching, even past years, past school years that maybe you need to keep some of those documents. It's all there. Really easy for him to look through and find this. Plus, let's check out one more picture here. If we open up one of those folders, so here's his health folder, he's got subfolders all broken down into his units, which makes a lot of sense. Depending on what you teach, you might want to organize this differently, but the better that we can take care of this, the easier it's going to be for Classroom. So let's go back, and I just want to show you here. So there's my Classroom folder, and when I open that, and if you've looked at this at all, so not in Classroom, but kind of on the other side of it within Drive, every time you create a course, it's putting a folder automatically into your Classroom folder in Drive. So you didn't set this up. If you have a Classroom folder, it's because you started, you logged into Classroom, created an account, and it started to make these folders for you based on all the different courses that you were naming. And what's cool is when you click on them, then everything that you have uploaded into that Google Classroom account, it's showing up in this folder. So it's really slick because not only do you access all of these documents within Drive like I'm showing you here now, but if I went into Classroom, I would see these same documents on my stream that I've shared with my students. So hopefully this gives you a couple of tips on how you can either keep organized, or if you're like me, really start working on this organization so that as we start to use Classroom, it's much more seamless for you.